There we go. Little wellness Sunday. Wellness Sunday. Just waiting for the wellness team to arrive. Setting up my space. Hello, everybody. I'm Shelly Skinner. I'm the president of UPlift Black. Thank you for joining us. Take your time and set up your space. It's really important. Turn the lighting down, light candles, incense. Get ready for a special time for you to just be calm, be centered, take care of yourself so we can push forward and be strong for the days to come. All right.
Morning.
Hi.
One of my cats moved. I had this all set up last night, but I'm pretty sure a cat moved my tripod last night, so I started early to get this reset.
All good. Are you excited?
Yeah,
Has it been a while since you've done taught a class?
a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, I practice myself at home, but it's not like I'm ever like telling myself put your leg here. So
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. You can see. I think you can see both ends of the mat.
Yeah.
Is that okay for music volume? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear the music.
Yeah, the music is not there.
Everyone. There we go. There you are. I was like, where's Tamika? Yeah, I see you now. Hi, hon.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Are you gonna welcome everybody, or did you want me to?
Can you do it? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. And I've made both of you the co-host.
Okay. Perfect.
So, oh my goodness. So there's one person in the waiting room right now. You can, so when you guys are ready, you can just start letting anybody into the waiting room.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. I can see
Yeah.
them.
Perfect. Oh, my camera's a little way.
Yeah, and then I literally have work right after this, so I'm gonna share my screen and like play the meditation, and then let it play till the end.
Yeah.
And I was gonna explain at the beginning that after the meditation's done, they can like still remain there if they choose, and then the meeting will just end when the meditation's over.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect.
Excited.
I know, me too. See if this is better for me. Still see me? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
This should be perfect. It's recording, so we'll have the recording of it. Okay.
Well,
Is your music playing yet, Jess? Because I can't hear it.
no, here I was just testing volume to make sure. No,
No.
I can move the laptop closer.
Maybe you have to move the speaker closer to the laptop.
Yeah. It's a quiet playlist. We might just move it a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like very, very subtly.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Better?
Here we go. Way better, yeah.
I think I'm gonna connect to my TV too.
And then Jess, you just let me know when you want me to start letting people in.
Okay. I mean, it's 5:02. We could probably let people in now.
Let's wait a little. Just give me 1 minute before we let anybody in.
Okay, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Whenever you guys are good.
Okay, sure.
Make sure I have my cat children locked out sufficiently.
Okay, I am ready when you all are to let everybody in.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You guys can hear me okay from this distance for instructing?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Perfect.
Good morning. As everyone's slowly piling in. Good morning, good morning. So this morning we have Jess leading our grounding practice. You can leave your video off, you can choose to come on. Recognize that if your video is on when everybody's in their downward dog and such, we honestly can't even see each other. So don't be too worried about watching one another. We're all just here in this space to share this wonderful energy on this Sunday morning. Post the grounding practice, which will just be a little bit under an hour. There's a meditation that is pre-recorded. Good morning, Jen. So you can choose to stay on for that. And then when the meditation's over, we will be closing the meeting. And so you can choose to stay on your mat or continue with your day, whatever you feel you need. So thank you so much for joining UPlift Black and our wellness committee and our group this morning. We have about like 3 more minutes, so we'll wait for everyone to come on. So just grab what you need, whether it's your water, if you need a towel, if you need a pillow, if you have a block. Jess will be playing music from her screen, so if we all can just remain on mute. And yes, if you have any questions, you can just write them in the chat. Find your place on the mat, grounded. We'll be starting in 1 minute.
Okay. I think it's 11. Do you want me to go ahead and start, Tamika, or do you think we have anyone else joining? Okay, well, it is 11, so I'll go ahead and get started. I'm Jess, for anybody who doesn't know me yet, and just a couple of things for practice today. I am notorious for forgetting to cue for water. It's your body, you're the boss of it, you know it better than anyone else. So always take a water break, take a little pause at any point if you need to. Same goes with the postures. If I'm instructing a posture that just doesn't feel great in your body today, that's totally okay. Stay in the previous version of it. That's maybe the less intense version of it. You can always come to child's pose to just take a little breath and a break if you need to. Again, it's your practice. I'm really just here as a guide. And if I instruct something that doesn't feel totally amazing in your body, that's totally okay. Just don't do it today. Yoga is kind of a constantly evolving practice. And so even something that felt great in your body yesterday may not be totally awesome today. And it's always about just giving yourself that grace and that permission to do what feels good for you in your practice today. So that being said, we're going to start on our mats in child's posture. And child's posture will have you sitting hips over heels, knees slightly spread apart, leaning forward over the legs, widen the knees to make a little bit of space for your belly. Arms long in front of you, and then let the forehead relax to the mat. While we're here in child's posture, just taking a moment to meet with the breath, begin to set your intention. So if that's just to listen to your body and your practice today, that's a great intention to start with. And beginning to meet with the breath, starting to lengthen those inhales and exhales. Just becoming a little bit more conscious of how the breath is feeling in your body today. If there are any areas of attention in your body where you might want to bring a little bit more attention today. Just beginning to lengthen the lengths of the breath now. So we'll inhale on your next breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold at the top of your inhale. And exhale out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Breathing nice and long like this in your child's posture. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more like that. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. With your next inhale, you can begin to slightly raise the head. Take your gaze towards your fingertips. And exhale, you're going to walk the hands right off the left side of the mat. And then place the forehead back down. So you'll be leaning a little bit more onto that left leg. You might feel a nice long stretch down the right side of the body, kind of from the back of the right armpit all the way down to the right hip. And just breathe into that stretch. Every inhale, seeing if you can take the inhale a little bit deeper. And every exhale, trying to release all that breath, letting go of anything you don't need anymore. Good. Another nice big inhale here in your sideways child's pose. Exhale all the way out. Good. Last time, inhale nice and deep into that right side. And exhale all the way out. On your next inhale, raising the forehead, look towards the fingertips. Exhale, walk all the way over to the opposite right side of the mat. So walking right off to the other side. And again, just finding that opposite stretch. So placing the forehead back onto the mat. And breathing deep into that inhale, feeling the stretch down that left side of the body. Exhale it all the way out. Inhale, nice and deep. Feel that left side stretch. Exhale it all the way out. Good, and last time, inhale deep into that left side of the body. And exhale all the way out. Good, inhaling with the next breath, look forward to the fingertips. And exhale, walk the hands back to the center of your mat, sinking into your child's posture one last time. And just see if maybe there's a little more room in the hips, a little bit of ease to sink deeper this time. Take 3 long, full breaths here, just like we did before. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last breath while we're here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. With your next inhale, look forwards towards the fingertips. And you're just gonna hinge forward, bringing the hips up over the knees, coming to tabletop posture. So in tabletop, you want your knees directly under the hips, about hip distance apart. Wrists directly underneath the shoulders, you got shoulder distance apart. Nice straight long spine here. Should feel like the tailbone is reaching right away from the crown and the crown is reaching away from the tailbone, really extending and lengthening the spine. Good. Engage the core muscles. We're going to inhale, drop the belly towards the mat, raise the shoulders, raise the head, raise the tailbone, coming into cow pose. Exhaling, moving with the breath, rounding the back, engage the core into an angry cat-like back. Good, and we'll just move through the breath here. Inhaling, drop the belly towards the mat, open the chest, cow pose. Exhale, press up and away from the mat, engage the belly, round the spine. Good, a few more like this. Inhaling, drop the belly, open up. Exhaling, round the spine, really press up and away from the mat. Good, inhaling, release and open up. And last time, exhale and press that cat-like back away from the mat. Good, come back to a nice straight neutral spine in your tabletop. And inhale, take that right leg out behind you. Really press the heel away and bring the toes up towards you as if you're trying to touch your own shin. So it should really feel like the back of your leg is super engaged here. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, round into that angry cat-like back. See if you can bring the knee in underneath you. Good, inhale, reach that leg nice and long again. Exhale, round the spine, angry cat-like back, bring the knee in. And stretch it back out. Good, nice big inhale here. Exhale, we're gonna step that leg over towards the outside of the mat. So the right leg is gonna cross over the bent left leg. And we're gonna take a look over the left shoulder. See if you can take a little peekaboo at those toes that have now stretched over to the opposite side. Again, you'll feel that stretch in your breath in the right side of the body when you're doing this. 2 more nice big breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, bring the gaze back to the front of your mat. And exhale, step that knee back into your tabletop position. Good. You can wiggle the spine from side to side just to give it a little bit of a stretch out. And we're going to inhale, now taking the left leg up to float, nice and parallel with the back. Again, extending that heel away from you and bringing the toes up towards your shin should really activate the back of the leg. Good, nice big inhale here. Exhale, curl into that cat-like spine, bring the knee in underneath you. Good. Inhale, stretching it back out long. Exhale, moving with the breath, curl into that cat-like back. And inhale, stretch that leg back out long. Good. Last time. Exhaling, cat-like back, bring the knee in. And inhale, stretch it back out. Good. With your next exhale, we're going to cross that left leg, this time over towards the outside of the right side of the mat. And with your next breath, taking a look over that right shoulder to see if you can take a little peek at the toes on the right side of the mat. Again, really remembering to come back to the breath, breathing deep here, feeling that stretch all down the left side of the body with every breath. With your next breath, bring your gaze back to the front of the mat and step that left leg back into your tabletop position. Again, feel free to stretch and wiggle the spine out in any way that feels good here for a couple of breaths. I like to do nice big circles, so it's like you're moving through cat and cow, but you're circling the whole body. And from here, we're going to begin to tuck the toes, lengthen those legs into your first version of down dog for today. Again, being gentle with your body where it's at today in your first down dog. You might want to have the knees bent a little bit or a lot, whatever feels good for you. My hamstrings do tend to be tight, so my first couple down dogs, I'll almost have my belly touching the top of my thighs. My legs are so bent, and that's totally okay if it feels good in your body. Good. Breathe into your down dog here, pressing the hands away from the front of the mat, really rooting into the feet as much as you can. One more full inhale here. Good. As you exhale, begin to walk those feet forward, so they're going to come somewhere behind your wrists. Again, bending as much as you feel like you need to. We're in a forward fold here once the feet end up behind the wrists. Again, nice big bend. You can have the belly resting on the tops of the thighs. The idea here is that you really want to let everything go. That whole spine should just be spilling over and just relaxing. You can remove the hands for support if you like. You can have the hands go to either elbow. And just kind of swing and hang out here. With your next inhale, let's take the hands to the shins, straightening the legs, straightening the back, come to a halfway lift. It's kind of like an upside down L shape. You want your back to be nice and straight, legs to be nice and straight. Engage the core to hold the torso up here. Inhale. And exhale, release back down to your forward fold, whatever version that looks like for you today. Take 3 more breaths here in your forward fold. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last time, inhale fully. And exhale, release all that weight. Good. With your next inhale, bend into the legs. Slowly begin standing up 1 vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow, whatever pace feels good for you. Once the spine is stacked, taking the arms all the way up to reach nice and tall. You can look up between the fingertips. Nice deep breaths here in mountain pose. You want to reach nice and tall with ground in the spine, but at the same time have the tailbone be rooting nice and long towards the mat. So engage in those glutes so that the tailbone feels like it's reaching down between the heels. I'm going to take 3 more breaths here in our mountain pose. This is a really nice place of rest while still being active. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Good, and last breath, inhale. And exhale, bring those hands down to the heart center and your gaze in front. And from here, we're going to be coming to chair pose. So again, we want to make sure that those feet are about a hip distance apart. And from here, you're just going to sit into your chair. So bending into the knees until you reach a point where you kind of almost want to like stick the booty out a little bit to kind of counterbalance you. It's the opposite of what we want to do. So again, we want to sink that tailbone as if it's got an anchor down between the heels, and see if you can sit in that chair even lower. So this is going to make it so that you're working a lot harder to balance yourself over the heels. If you get to a lower point in your chair pose where you need a little bit more counterbalance, you can take the arms out in front of you, and that might help you sink your chair a little bit deeper. Just making sure we want to avoid that ski slope kind of feeling with the tailbone. The tailbone wants to be nice and tucked and rooted down towards the heels. One more full deep breath, inhale. And exhale, fold over those legs, coming back to a forward fold. And again, you can bend those legs as much or as little as it feels good to you today. Good. 3 deep breaths in your forward fold, finding some rest here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, we'll inhale to that halfway lift, nice flat back. And exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper into your forward fold this time. Inhale, again, slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time into a nice tall standing position. Nice big inhale here. Nice big exhale. And from here, we're going to step into warrior one. So keeping right foot forward, I'm going to step the left foot back on about a 45-degree angle. And you just want to make sure that you still kind of have that hip distance between the heels so that you're not on too much of a balance beam. You want the hips facing forward towards that front knee. So you kind of have to encourage that left hip forward a little bit more than you think you need it. Bending into that right front knee. I want to just make sure the knee is aligned over top of the ankle. If you need to come up on the back toes here, that's totally fine if that makes it so that the hips are able to face forward. Eventually, if you're able to work towards it, you will want that heel nice and flat on a 45-degree angle. But again, take whatever version feels good for your body today. Good, taking your breaths here, warrior, you can keep the hands on your hips, hands to heart center. If you'd like to open the chest and arms a little bit more, you can take the arms all the way up. Good, see if you can really engage that back left leg, so it's pushing the entire surface of that back left foot down into the mat, if that's the version you're in today. Good, nice big inhale here. Exhaling, bring the hands to heart center. You're going to turn the front foot to face the side of the mat. Step that left foot back a little bit if you need to. Sorry, turn the front foot towards the very front of your mat. Step that back left foot towards the side of the mat, and we're going to be coming into warrior two. So again, the knee is just over top of the ankle in the front right leg. But we've got the hips facing a little bit more to the the left long side of the mat. And again, taking whatever version feels good for you here. So you can keep the hands on the hips for a little bit more stability. Hands can go to heart center. We can take the arms out nice and long towards the front and back of the mat. Good. Breathe nice and deep here. And we want that tailbone nice and rooted, nice and anchored, so it almost feels like an anchor's hanging off it. And bringing that tailbone to root down beneath you. Good. Let's take an inhale, take both arms up above you, keeping the legs where they're at, looking up towards the fingertips. And with your exhale, take the arms back out long. See if you can sink a little bit more into that front knee. Good. With your next inhale, the hands can go back to the hips. We're going to turn that front right leg so it now is facing the long edge of the mat. We're going to come into goddess pose. So there's a couple different options here. Most people generally find the feet facing on about a 45-degree angle is pretty comfortable. Again, rooting that tailbone down so we're not having the ski slope on the end of the back. Tailbone lengthening down towards the mat. And we're going to sit similar to how we did in chair pose. And this way the knees will be going out to that 45-degree angle in goddess. Again, hands can stay at the waist, hands can come to heart center, or if you'd like, the arms can go up, kind of mirror what the legs are doing. Good. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. One more time. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Good. Dropping the arms to the tops of the thighs and pressing the legs up nice and straight. Let's inhale those arms up nice and tall. And exhale, bringing them back to heart center. Good. From here, we're just going to turn back to the front of the mat. Step forward with the left foot and step back with the right foot. Coming back to warrior one to repeat everything on the other side. Again, in your warrior one, we now have the left front leg bent into the knee. The knee is directly over the ankle as much as possible. Hips facing forward towards those front toes. And the back right leg is as long and as straight as possible. So if that means that the heel has to be up, that's totally okay. If the heel can make it down to the mat, that's great. Breathe into your warrior one. Again, take whatever version feels good for you here. Keep the hands on the hips if you'd like a little more stability. Hands to heart center, or you can take the arms all the way up over top of the head. Hold here, a couple more breaths. Good. With your next exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Rotate that back right leg so the toes are now fully facing the side of the mat. And coming into warrior two on the other side. Good. So the right leg is parallel with the back short edge of the mat. Left leg toes are pointing forward towards the front of the mat. Opening those hips up to the long edge. Breathing here. Again, having the tailbone nice and lengthened towards the bottom of the mat. Making a little more room in the spine. Again, taking whatever versions of the arms might feel good for you today. Good. From here, press into that front left leg, straighten it up. We're going to turn the left toes towards the long edge of the mat. So they're now parallel with the right. So from here, we're going to just do a nice forward fold. So we're going to try and hinge at the hips. Again, bend the legs a little bit or a lot, depending on what you need. Inhale the spine nice and long. Exhale, bending forward at the hips. And reaching down towards the ground. And you always have the option of props here. If the hands aren't going to make it to the ground, you can use some blocks, books work. And props are also nice when you're getting a little further into the pose. If your head isn't quite towards the ground, one day it may make it, but the props are there as a nice option to let you relax into. Let's inhale here, come to a halfway lift. Nice straight spine, supporting yourself with the hands underneath the shoulders. And exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper this time. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to make this accessible for your body today. Inhale again, nice halfway lift, supporting underneath the shoulders with the hands. Good. With your next exhale, you can just begin to scoot the feet in a little bit closer together. Bend into those legs. Press up nice and tall into that same mountain pose you did earlier. Inhale, reach nice and tall one more time. And exhale, let the hands drop towards the heart center. Good. From here, we're going to come into tree pose. If you're near a wall, it's really nice to just have it there as a little bit of a steadying option if you'd like. I'm going to keep facing the camera so it's easy to see me. I'm going to root into the left leg first. You want to really raise the toes, flatten them back into the mat, and try to feel like you're pressing the entire bottom surface of the foot into the mat as much as possible. Transitioning that weight onto the left hip. And begin taking the right leg into whatever version of tree works for you today. So that could just be having a nice little tree kickstand down at the ankle. You can have your right leg move up towards the calf, or you can take it all the way up to the inner left thigh. Again, just depending on what works for you here in your body today. You feel a little more steady in the root of your tree. You can also take some different options with the arms. Take them out to the side, that will be more of a challenge. If you keep them on the hips or heart center, it will be a little more stabilizing. And I always like to remind everyone, wiggles and wobbles are a good thing in your balancing poses. It means you're creating new muscle pathways, creating new neural pathways. So if you stumble and fall out, it is all good. Just take the breath and make your way back into the balance whenever you can. And again, we really want to have that sensation of the tailbone rooting down as if it's time to reach down to the heels beneath. Really engage that entire left leg. One more inhale here. Exhale, drop the hands to the hips. See if you can control that release of the right leg down to the mat. Good. Give your feet a little stretch out on the mat. Especially that left one might have been really feeling that intensity. So you can do some little ankle circles. And from here, we're coming to our tree on the other side. So beginning to really root down, feel the feeling of that right foot in the mat. Lift the toes, spread them out, and place them back down. And try to feel like you're pressing the entire bottom surface of that right foot into the mat. Engage that right glute, engage all the way down that right leg. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the heel. And take whatever version of tree on the other side feels good for you. So again, that might be down at the ankle, might be on the calf, might be all the way up towards the thigh. Once you get there, try to find a nice stable root through that right leg. And again, you can begin to grow your tree in any way that feels good for you. And taking the arms up, taking the arms out to the side. And just keeping them on the hips or at heart center, wherever it feels good in your body today. Again, feeling free to give yourself grace, fall on out of it and come back into it as you need to. It's totally okay. It's totally part of the practice. It's also quite normal to have one side that's better than the other. One more big inhale. Exhale, see if you can float the hands back down if they were raised. And gently release that left leg back to the mat. Give that right foot a nice little stretch out. It's feeling some of that intensity of holding. Good. Coming back to a mountain pose. So feet hip distance apart. Arms can be down or up, whichever feels good. Opening the heart and chest. And just breathing nice and deep here. Taking your rest in mountain pose. And coming back to the breath. Lengthening and deepening with every one. And one final nice deep breath here. As we exhale, we'll just turn back towards the front of our mat. Adjust mine a little bit here. So stepping up towards the top of your mat. And just do a nice gentle sun salutation. Inhale, taking the arms up, gazing at the hands. Exhale, folding forward over those nice long legs, bending the knees if you need to. Inhaling, halfway lift, flatten the back. Exhale, support with the hands, step the legs all the way out to a nice long plank push-up. Inhale fully here. Exhale all the way down. You can drop the knees if you need to until the chest comes to the mat. Inhale, do a baby cobra or an up dog if you feel like you're warmed up enough for that. Exhaling through bent knees. Tuck the toes and come into a downward facing dog. Then walk your dog out a little bit, alternating bending and straightening the legs. Inhale and look forward. Step the feet, all the way up behind hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over those legs. And inhaling slowly, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back up to tall mountain. And 3 deep breaths here in the tall mountain pose. With your next exhale, fold back forward, all the way back into your forward fold. Good. From here, pressing into the hands again, stepping all the way back out to your plank. Good. So we're going to hold plank for a few seconds here. If the full plank is too intense for you, of course, always you can take the knees down. Still a really great core workout, and just making sure you're keeping the spine all in one straight line as much as you can. Good. Really engage the side core muscles, holding the stability in your plank here. And 3 more breaths. You can do it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath, inhale. Good. Exhale, walk all the way through downward dog. Bring the feet behind the wrists and go ahead and sit right down onto the mat. Good. So we're just going to come to seated easy pose. This is just regular cross-legged sitting if this is good for you. If this is a little tough for you, it's always nice to raise the hips so you can sit on a block, on a cushion, on a blanket. Having the hips raised just tends to make it a little bit easier to sit into that with ease. Good. And whatever way you cross your legs, if you like right on top of left, left on top of right, start wherever you like, and we're going to go both ways. Inhale nice and deep here. Root the tailbone. As you inhale, extend the spine nice and long so the crown feels like it's reaching up to touch the sky above you. You can take the hands to the knees or have the hands on either side of you for a little more support if you'd like. And just breathing into your easy seated pose. And taking the hands to either side of you on the mat. Let's inhale, take the right arm up. And exhale, lean over towards the left side. And you'll just use that left hand as a little bit of a kickstand to help you adjust how much or little of a stretch you're feeling. Again, every breath, inhale, you want to really feel that down the right side body. Feel that stretch with every breath. You can take the gaze up to the fingertips of the right hand. Feel a little bit more of a stretch through the neck and shoulders. And as you sit here with the breath, you may find that slowly you're able to deepen into it. One more big inhale here. Exhale. And inhaling, coming back up the way you went down. Bringing the right hand back to the mat. Inhale with the next breath, left arm goes up and over. And exhale into that stretch onto the opposite side. Again, keeping the shoulder nice and rooted in the socket, but you can take a look up towards that left thumb if that feels okay for your neck and your shoulders, just for a little bit of an extra stretch. And with every breath on this side, just feeling that move through the stretch of the left side of the body. One more inhale here. One more exhale. Inhaling, coming back the way you came. Bring that left hand back to the mat. Give your neck a little bit of a stretch out, doing some head rolls and some shoulder shrugs. And we're gonna swap the way our feet are seated right now. So if you're a right leg on top person, we're gonna switch it so that it's the other way around, vice versa. And here we're just gonna come into a gentle seated twist. So again, once you get your legs rearranged, you wanna really feel that rooting feeling of the tailbone supporting your seat. And from the tailbone, all the vertebrae stretching up, up, up until the crown's reaching up into the sky. Good. Inhale, take both arms up above, looking up to the fingertips. As you exhale, twisting towards your right side, the left hand is going to come towards the right knee. Right hand's going to make its way somewhere behind you, just as a little bit of extra stability. And you can take a look over that right shoulder as you stretch and twist into this shape. With every inhale, try to envision the vertebrae and spine stretching a little bit taller. And every exhale, see if you might be able to twist just a tiny bit deeper. One more big inhale here. Last exhale, twist as deep as you can. Good. With your next inhale, bringing both arms back up above, take the gaze to the fingertips. And exhaling now in the opposite direction. So twist looking towards your left. The right hand will come to the top of the left knee. And the left hand will make its way behind you, just as a little bit of an extra support and stabilizer. Keeping that spine nice and straight and tall as you twist. And again, every inhale, reaching the crown nice and tall. Every exhale, seeing if you can twist a little bit deeper. One more full deep inhale here. And exhale, twist as much as you can. Inhale, bringing both arms back up. And exhale, taking the hands to heart center. Good. From here, we're going to come to a reclined position. The feet towards the front of your mat. Reclining back onto the back as however it feels comfortable for you to get there. I'm just going to bring the legs up into the chest for a nice little hug, hugging around the outside of the knees and shins. Curl into a nice little ball, and you can even rock a little bit from side to side. This is a great way to give your back and internal organs a nice little massage on the mat. And from here, we're going to come into bridge pose. So taking the feet back down to the mat, want them again about hip distance apart. And they're going to be fairly close to you so that if you're reaching the arms down long to either side, you can almost just about graze the backs of the heels with your fingers. Take a nice big inhale here. You really want to feel like as much of your spine as possible is in contact with the mat. So spreading out the length of your spine on the mat as much as you can. Good. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, press into the backs of the legs, the glutes, and you're going to begin to lift the hips up off of the mat. Good. Really using those adductor muscles to make sure the knees don't splay out to the side. You want those knees to stay nice and in line with the hip distance that we set them at. Every exhale, see if you can push into the glutes and backs of the legs. Lift that bridge pose. Eventually, if you have made enough room and if this feels good for you, you might be able to interlace the fingers underneath your back on the mat. And once they're interlaced, you can really press into the outsides of the arms to help you lift that bridge even more. Breathing real deep all the time while we're here.
Good. 3 more inhales and exhales. Inhale. Exhale it out. Good. Inhale it in. Exhale it out. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Release all that air. Untwine the fingers if they were intertwined and slowly, slowly let the spine make its way back to the mat, vertebrae at a time, until the hips come back to the mat as well. From here, take those soles of feet to meet together and let the legs splay out to either side in reclined butterfly, Baddha Konasana. This is a little too much of an intense stretch for you. You can always have your block, your bolsters, your pillows just placed underneath the knees or underneath the outside of the thighs to give you a little bit more support. If you want to feel the full intensity of the stretch, you can go right ahead without any props. Totally up to you what feels good in your practice. A couple more nice deep breaths in this reclined butterfly posture. With your last inhale, feel as if you can press as much of the back body and the spine into the mat as you can with that inhale. And exhale. Fully release all that you're holding on to. Good. To gather the knees back together. Bring the legs in for one more little hug motion. And from here, we're going to come to happy baby posture. So this is one of my favorites. You're gonna, within that same kind of knee hugging motion, you're just gonna begin to let the feet rise up towards the ceiling. So as if you're gonna take a walk on your ceiling with the soles of your feet. And then kind of let the legs kind of teeter out to either side. The arms are gonna reach up to try and grab either around the ankles, around the side of the foot, or maybe around the big toes. And using that resistance of the arms grabbing the legs, the knees might make their way towards the biceps or the armpits. You can just really let the arms kind of control that resistance here and hang out in this happy baby posture. Looks exactly like when babies like to grab their feet. This is, again, a really great massage for the internal organs. You can, again, rock a little bit side to side here if that's comfortable for you. Feel a little back massage on the mat. Three more deep breaths here in your happy baby posture. Inhale and exhale it out. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale it out. Last one. Inhale, feel like you're pressing that entire back body into the mat with your inhale. And exhale, breathe out. Good. Release the grip on the feet. You can let the feet come back to the mat as if you're coming back to bridge pose. From here, we're going to take the arms out, almost like kind of cactus arms or stop signs to either side. So they're going to be bent at a 90-degree angle coming out of the shoulder socket. Good. With the arms nice and pressed into the mat. We're just going to let both those knees drop off towards the right side of the mat. You may want to slightly scoot or adjust your hips so that the left hip will be on top of the right hip. Knees pointing off to the right side. Just a nice gentle spinal twist here in a reclined posture. If you want to feel a little bit more of a stretch here, you can take the right arm towards the top of the left leg and just press into that twist just a little bit more. You can also take your gaze to look towards the left hand.
Really exploring the full rotation of the spine where you're able. One more nice big inhale here. One more nice big exhale all the way out. Good. With your next inhale, bring that right arm back up towards its cactus position. Repositioning the hips, taking the knees back up towards that bridge posture. And now exhaling in the opposite direction. So let both knees fall off towards the left side of the mat. Scoot and adjust your hips however you need to so that it feels like the right hip is stacked on top of the left as much as possible. And as you begin to get acquainted with this feeling, if it feels like you'd like to go a little deeper, you can take that left hand onto the top outside of the right thigh. And pressing those legs a little deeper into the mat, giving a little bit more of a stretch. From there, again, if you'd like to explore that full range of the spine motion, you can take the gaze to look off towards that right elbow. One more nice big inhale here. One more exhale, exhaling everything out. Releasing the grip of the left hand back to your cactus arm position. Bring the knees back towards the ceiling. And from here, we're going to be making our way into Shavasana for relaxation. If there's any other posture you feel like you might want to take for just a moment before that, that's totally up to you in your practice today. Otherwise, for Shavasana, you're going to extend the legs long towards the end of the mat. Extend the arms down nice and long and wide to either side. Again, reposition or reconfigure in any way that makes your Shavasana feel more comfortable. So if that means a blanket or a bolster under the knees, slight bend in the knees, whatever feels good for you. You want to just be able to completely relax and release into your Shavasana pose. And I always like to remind everyone that in our busy society, sometimes Shavasana can be the hardest thing to release into, as we very rarely give ourselves time to just sit still in our society. So for these few minutes of Shavasana, I invite you to just clear your mind and let all the good of your yoga practice sink into your body for the next couple minutes. And at the end of Shavasana, I'll be playing the singing bowl just to kind of barely bring the attention back just a little bit so that we can then have the grounding meditation. I invite you to relax and release for your next 2 minutes of Shavasana.
Welcome, soul brothers and soul sisters. Today I'd like to talk to you about protection for energy workers, because this is what you will become. When you embark on spiritual work, the importance of staying grounded and centered and being shielded from unwanted energy becomes absolutely necessary. So when we raise our vibrational level, it's easier to connect with the divine, to see our life purpose, to be guided by our inner wisdom and outside sources or inspirations. But we also become much more susceptible to being blown away by others with raw, unconscious energy, both by individuals who may be focusing on negativity or in a group situation. So today we're going to work on some grounding techniques. This is going to help you become more centered, more shielded, and on a spiritual path. Don't be confused or become misguided or lose your connection with the authentic self and a higher guidance. So, me being a Sagittarius, I've had natural tendencies as fire to go off mentally or emotionally anyway. But I have learned through grounding techniques. This has become my rock. So I'm going to talk to you about some visualization techniques. Because we are working with the root chakra, we associate the color red with the root chakra. So by using this visualization of the color red, it helps as a tool to help ground yourself. So imagine the color red and maintaining your focus on it during a meditation, and this will help you assist in staying connected to the earth's grounding energies. Sometimes it's easier to visualize objects rather than colors. So maybe you can imagine a big juicy apple, the flesh of the inside of a watermelon. You could even take it a step further and imagine yourself planting the watermelon and the seeds rooting themselves deeply into the soil. So that is really a good visualization technique to use, is by using colors or an object. So today, though, we are going to be using the color red because that's what we are connecting, is our root chakra. Another technique is growing tree roots. So a common practice that's used by healers, they usually try to assist the clients who tend to be spacey, which means like way out there, not grounded at all. So by using this technique, it grounds them and it guides them through a simple guided visualization. The healer will ask the client to imagine being a tree by imagination of extending his roots into the ground and his branches into the sky. And they are able to draw healing energies from the earth source. And you can actually feel this. So that's what we're going to be working with today. Another good technique to help you stay grounded is eat a lot of root vegetables. So vegetables that are grown in the earth. So like potatoes, radishes, onions, turnips, peanuts, carrots, beets, garlic, and so on. So any vegetable that grows into the earth. Okay. So we are going to get into our grounding exercise. So I want you to get comfortable and find an area that works best for you. And it's really helps when you sit with your back up against something. Just gives you a little bit more support, a little bit more relaxing. Okay, so we are going to begin. So I want you to take a deep breath and hold it in for 5 seconds. And I want you to release the breath slowly. Deep breath in. And release. Take another deep breath in. And release. Another deep breath. And release. One more. Deep breath in. And release. Now I want you to see in your mind's eye a tree. Don't worry if the tree isn't crystal clear. Maybe just remember a tree you once knew. Now I want you to sit down at this tree with your back against the tree. I want you to feel the trunk against your back and know that this is a safe spot for you. Now your spine is the conductor of your chakra. So the base chakra is the root chakra. This is literally where your spine ends. If you want to extend the base chakra down, this is your taproot. So I want you to press down into the earth until you can feel that pulling at your center. Just relax and just feel how this is affecting your body at the moment. Take some deep breaths in. Release. Now I want you to slowly begin drawing that energy up from the earth. Let it fill that root chakra. Now it moves to the belly chakra. Feel that energy slowly spreading. Next, it moves to your solar plexus. And now your heart chakra. I want you to take note what that energy feels like to you. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it hot? Is it prickly? Is it itchy? Now the energy moves up your throat chakra. Into the third eye, which is in the middle of your forehead. And it reaches all the way up to your crown chakra. I want you to feel that energy spill up and out like a waterfall. Let the waterfall flow down to the earth and soak back into the ground. This is the energy pool that is always available to you. So just take a few moments to feel the cycle of the waterfall. Now let the waterfall gradually ebb back up into your crown chakra. It slides down your third eye, past your throat chakra to the heart chakra. Now the solar plexus down to the belly chakra. As it moves back to the root chakra, begin to draw your taproot up into the root as well. And excess energies will be flushed through the root chakra, leaving behind only what you need. When you feel ready, open your eyes and come back to yourself. And take some deep breaths in. Release. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers.
Thank you for coming. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.